Hey there, welcome to tonight's mini class. My name is Claudia Garcia. I'm so glad that you're here today. This is going to be for consultants, coaches, service based businesses. If you are an expert and you're getting ready to launch a business, I am giving you the framework without all the fluff. So I am going to tell you what you need to have in place before you launch. All right, let's dive in. All right, so just a quick reminder that we are going to go quick tonight. This is hopefully going to be around 30 minutes or so, maybe less. And so it's going to be kind of a crash course. I just want you to get familiar with what is required to launch. So grab your pen and paper and let's get the ball rolling. All right, so tonight this is what we're going to cover. Again, hopefully we'll go about 20, 30 minutes because this is a crash course, crash masterclass. I'm just crashing everything. Hopefully, this is going to be actually a time of enlightenment and you are going to get the answers that you need and you're going to get inspired and let's do this. So, we're going to cover all of these things. We're going to cover why go into an expert business, who should launch an expert business, choosing a niche, foundations like your client, your pain, the product and service, having a clear offer, and then also again go through the product and service checklist. Then we're going to go touch on branding for a minute and then talk about visibility. I'm your host, Claudia Garcia. If you haven't met me before, I'm so glad that you are here today. I have been in the healthcare space now for 15 plus years. I have been a service based business. We've offered everything from marketing to provide enrollments and credentialing to staffing and recruitment, as well as private practice launch strategy, with all of those being the foundation of what we teach the providers to do well or how to do, and we get them the roadmap and we get them going. So I won't dive into that because there's a lot there, but just so you guys know, I currently have contracts with hospitals, laboratories, staffing agencies, private practices, again, private practices being my biggest clientele, and I really just enjoy working with private practices. So just a little bit about my business. Started originally launched my healthcare service-based business in 2009 with just one client, and then grew a small team, which was a lot of fun. I was able to hire friends, family, and even church members when people needed work. I was there to give it to them, and it was a lot of fun. In 2019, after becoming pregnant at an older age, I decided I would take my business 100% online. And what I mean by that is that I was no longer driving the LA freeways to meet physicians and providers and organizations, but rather I was doing everything online via Zoom and Google Meet. I later then moved my business or actually, we moved our family to Austin, Texas. And that is when I started to really expand on our staffing and search services, and that was again during the pandemic. And so we had some massive growth, and that was a lot of fun. Actually, was focused on one client that was an agency in San Antonio, so being near them was really helpful. So that was kind of one of the reasons we moved here to Austin, Texas. And today I'm here mentoring and helping other consultants and coaches and service-based businesses leave their typical 9 to 5 and sell their expertise to organizations. And so I'm having a lot of fun doing that. Well, everybody has a why, and this is mine. It is my family, as well as my spouse, and being present for them, as well as being available for big events and things that may come up. That was one of the reasons why I did actually launch as an entrepreneur back in the day, was to be available for the kids when they were small. I never missed a baseball game or award show, or if somebody was sick, I was available. And so that was my why, still my why till today. Well, you're in the right place. If you are someone that is overworked and undervalued in the workplace, and this is why you're thinking about launching your expert business, perhaps you're somebody that just wants to double your income and you know that you have it in you. You know that what you do maybe on your 9 to 5 can be doubled with just a couple of clients. In regards to your income can double with just a couple of clients. That's what happened with me when I first launched. I took my income and doubled it within a few weeks. So this is very possible for you. You're also in the right place if perhaps you want to just slow down. This doesn't mean that you want to hustle more or that you want to add more work to your life, but maybe you're in that phase where you're just like, I want to sort of semi retire, but not really retire. Just want to slow down and enjoy my life and where I'm at right now. And I want to start a simple business that I like. Perhaps you want to take that expert business and make it an educational business where it's 100% online, whatever it is, but you have something in mind that's going to allow you to slow down. So if that's you, you're in the right class. So I'm so glad that you're here. All right, so this might not be for you if you're not an expert in one thing or have a product to offer, product or service to offer. This is also not for you if you desire security from an employer because you cannot start a business without having faith in yourself. And so you will not be able to make that leap if you need to hold on to the security that you feel that you have in your employer. And by the way, there is no secure employer, but some of us may feel like that is what we need. So this may not be for you. Now, if you're hesitant to invest time and money into yourself, this is also not going to work for you. So when it comes to launching any kind of business, there will be investment and there will be an investment of time and money. All right, so if you're a healthcare consultant or a consultant, then this time in this season in 2025 is a really good time. So, according to the US health market, LinkedIn is actually saying that the market was at 12.63 billion in 2021 and it's estimated to reach almost 23 billion by 2028, which means it's just continuing to grow. That the US market healthcare market is continuing to grow. And so on the other side of that is the healthcare consulting globally is also continuing to grow. So it's expected to be at 41.2 billion by 2026. So if you have a service that you can actually offer outside of the US as well, then you're in a good spot. You're really in a good spot. So, what are the benefits of actually launching a service based business um, as a consultant, a coach, or maybe you're going to go 100% digital, whatever it is, what are going to be the benefits of this freedom based business? And so, let's go through it. So just talk about it. So number one is freedom of time. I mentioned that that was why I had launched as an entrepreneur was because of the freedom of time. Also self-care. How many of you are overworked and getting sick because of your jobs and you're thinking to yourself, if I just had some time to take care of myself, I would be so much better off. So self-care is also a big one. There's also the flexibility and the independence that you get in having your own business. You get to choose your hours, you get to go on vacation when you want to go on vacation, attend those weddings that are out of state or out of country. You get to do whatever you like. So there's flexibility and there's independence. There's also huge financial rewards if you do things right. If you position yourself properly and you have a good business, a good product, and you're visible to the marketplace, then there can be some massive financial rewards. All right, so I keep repeating myself saying service-based business owner, consultant, coach. And so who are these people that qualify to do what I'm about to show you? What qualifies you to then launch this business that we're going to talk about? And what I'm going to call it is an expert business. So from this point on, that's the title I'm giving it. We can call it a lot of things, but just so that I don't have to say consultant, coach, service based, let's just call it the expert business. All right. So, what qualifies you to start an expert business? Well, you're an expert. And possibly you even have certifications on top of that expertise. You are a specialist in a specific realm, whether it's in healthcare or in finance or, technology, whatever it is, you have an extra certification. Now, you don't have to be certified to be an expert, but if you have a certification, well, that's always helpful as well. But I just want to let you know that if you're an expert and you know your stuff, you are qualified to start an expert business, which can be coaching, consulting, or service based. We already called you an expert. We know you're an expert, but you're also probably a problem solver. You have some amazing analytical skills and you're a great communicator. So if that is you, raise your hand, put your hands in the air. Whoop, whoop. I get a little silly when it's late at night and it is really late right now. So we are having fun. All right. So, what type of consultant or service based business will you launch? Your expert business. We're calling it expert business. Are you going to have a strategic consulting business? Are you going to consult on operational things? Maybe your regulatory and compliance. Maybe there's IT, digital health, and finance. So these are actually all ideas that you can take if you're an expert in any of these, specifically in healthcare. These are all areas that consultants are working in and people or organizations are hiring experts to help with. So if this is you and you're an expert in any of these, yeah, there are organizations that need you today. All right, so we've established that you're an expert. We've also established that this is going to be an amazing season to start an expert business as a consultant, as a contractor, somebody that works for themselves, as a freelancer. And now we got to talk about the launch framework. Like, what do I need to have in place in order to launch? I'm going to give you basics, right? There's a lot of details within the basics, but I'm giving you basics. I'm keeping it simple. And then if you need to go deeper, we can go deeper. And I may have some stuff already on my YouTube channel that you can dive into as well. But this launch framework is going to get you going and started. So start taking notes now if you're not already taking them. So these are the questions that you have to have answered before you launch. Number one, who will you serve? Are you serving a corporation? Is it going to be like B2B, or are you going to be servicing or serving the consumer direct? What pain will you solve? Which are the pains? I mean, what pains do your clients have? And are they currently looking for help to solve these problems? You got to make sure that there's a real problem out there and that they're really seeking help before you decide to make it your primary service. So, here's the way to find out whether or not there is a buyer out there for your product. Is somebody already doing it? Like, is somebody already offering this similar service? Let's say you are an auditor and you are going to launch an auditing service for the hospitals, and you're like, I'm going to come out I'm gonna clean y'all up before Jaco walks through your halls. Now, if you're in healthcare, you'll understand this lingo, but let's just say you are gonna help a hospital pass some sort of audit. Find out whether or not hospitals actually hire auditors. And if they do, if there's an actual need there for auditors, then you can launch the service. Then you can say, okay, this is a good service because people are already doing it and you know, the marketplace is already demanding for these solutions. Like there's a demand for the solution that I'm about to bring to the table. All right, so think about that. Now you're going to need to know pricing models. Is this going to be an hourly price, a retainer, or project based? This can be difficult in the beginning because if you don't do your research to know, first of all, what people are charging, and you may, overbid on a project or underbid on a project or sell yourself short, or you may come in a little too high for the industry. So make sure you do your research, but you gotta know what your pricing model is going to be before you can launch. Now, it doesn't mean that you won't adjust later and change things up later. You will, because this is what we do. We evolve, we get better, we find what works after testing things, and voila, we find the secret sauce or the secret ingredients to the secret sauce or whatever. But you do have to have an idea of how you're going to charge. How are these services right now? What are they currently going for? So do some research. You definitely want to do the research. I would ask your colleagues, hey, let's go back to the auditor situation. If you have, let's say you're friends with the CEO of a hospital, then you ask them, how much do you guys pay your auditors that come out and help you get compliant? What do they charge? And what do their proposals entail? Ask people. It's the best thing you can do. So do the research. All right. And now you got to also know what your unique value proposition is. So, what makes you unique in the market? So, we know that you want to be a product that already is in demand, but what is going to make you special? What's going to make you stand out? What is unique? Perhaps it's the way that you're going to deliver the service. Perhaps you can do it quickly. Perhaps you have a specific roadmap that nobody else has. Perhaps you have an angle that no one else has. So, unique selling proposition does not mean that it's a product that no one has ever come up with. I mean, we're not inventing things, right? This is it's consulting and coaching. So if you're, if you have something, so just really quick. So it's not like it's not about inventing a new product when we say unique. It's about you being the unique piece. So what you know and how you do things being the unique piece. So we need that to be known. And you need to know what that is, right? I gave some examples at the bottom. So do you have a proven unique method? I think I mentioned that. So do you deliver quick results? So think about what that is. You also want to answer the question of what transformation you will deliver and offer. So this would be something that you have ready to share with your clients. So think about the entire product and service, what makes you unique, and then what is the transformation that you're offering. So you want to know what that is. You also want to have proof that what you have solved or what you're doing, you've done it successfully in the past. And if you haven't, then you may want to use what you've done on the job as the proof if you can, or have references or case studies or testimonials. If you don't have this in the beginning, don't worry. You're going to get them as you go. But this is an important piece. So if you do have it, you definitely want it as part of your launch framework. You want to have it ready to go. So once you have all of those answered, you really want to map out your offer. And as I mentioned before, you want to do the research before you actually map out and create this offer. So you want to make sure that not only the people want it, but that you love the offer that you are going to launch or the product that you're launching, because if you don't, you will resent it and you will be upset that you ever did it. So make sure that it's not just something that people want, but it's something that you love doing and you want to do. So here's the product and service checklist. You want to outline the key benefits of your product. You want to break down the solution process. You want to provide clear instructions. You want to have actionable worksheets and checklists if that's what you're going to give to your clients. You want to have measurable milestones that you're going to give your clients. So you're going to say, like, hey, I'm going to take you through these, I don't know, 90 days. And, by week 2, we're going to be here. By week 3, we're going to be there. By week, whatever it is that you're doing, you've got to have some measurable milestones and you want to take them from phase to phase, and you want to give them some idea of where they're supposed to be or where they're going to go. This is what we're like, this is the map, right? You're giving them a map of where they're going and what that's going to look like, or what you want to deliver, and they give them some time frames. Now, what will be your ongoing support? So what is that going to look like? So you want to also have that ready to go. I mean, if you're looking to work less, you don't want to say, hey, I'll be on call anytime you need me. I'm available. No, 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 no. You get 4 calls a month, right? Like 4 hours max or whatever that is, but you have to have that also. You want to also have some tracking sheets or maybe like software that you might want to use to track the progress and track, whatever it is you do. I am going to actually be recording a show just on tools that I use and tools that are recommended out there. But you could use things like Teams, you could use Asana, which is a project management tool. Um, it- any kind of tracking tool will work. You can also just use Google Sheets. It's completely up to you. Now that you've gone through the checklist and you know what you have to have already before you launch, you want to think about those things that possibly you can add to your toolbox as an expert, right? Most of us, we dream of passive income. Passive income is when something is selling while you're sleeping or while you're doing something else. And so I was on vacation recently and I sold a LinkedIn workshop. I'm sorry, not a LinkedIn workshop, a LinkedIn audit. And I was like, oh wow, this is cool. I'm at Disneyland and I just made it, a few $100. Like this is really cool. So these are all things that you can do as an expert, and I'm going to give you just some ideas of what you can offer. All right, so if you and I were having hot coffee together today and we were talking about what you should add to your toolbox, I would say digital products, and I would say sell them online. So perhaps you can create SOPs. Now there are AI tools that will create SOPs, but like you don't just want an SOP that's never been reviewed by an expert, right? So perhaps that's the thing that you do. You create the SOPs through AI and then you go in and then you review to make sure they're actually compliant and right and correct before you offer them to the client. There's compliance checklists. Perhaps you're going to do something similar to what I do with my LinkedIn students, and I give them checklists and I say, you got to, A through Z, like, hey, let's go through each piece and let's get it done. Perhaps you're going to offer trainings the way that I do. I offer LinkedIn workshops for my consultants and coaches. And in these trainings, I do live trainings, but I also have recorded on demand trainings. So this allows me again to create passive income, as well as doing, so you could call them trainings, you could do mini workshops or intensives, whatever it is that you would like to do. Now that you've considered all of those things, you're going to ask yourself, how do I get clients? But okay, cool, I'm an expert, but how do I get these clients, right? So let's go into that. In the world we live in today, it is a requirement to build a professional expert brand. This is the key to any business, but specifically for a solopreneur, a coach, a consultant, a service based business that isn't like a massive corporation. You have to have a professional brand that shouts expertise. People are looking for someone to trust, and a good brand will be a magnet for those looking for help. So build it and they will come. But if you build it, if you don't build it, no one's going to come, right? So we want to build our brand so people will find us, and they'll find us as someone that they can trust. And we'll go right into that next. So, what will a professional brand actually do for you? And the number one thing about a brand is that it's really meant to create some trust and credibility and influence. You want to be recognized for your expertise, and your brand should align with that. When we say professional brand, we're really talking about you being the brand. So, not the organization, not the name of your corporation, but you, the expert, are the brand. So that's what they, meaning the internet and the world, consider professional brand. So, how are we going to get our brand out there, our expertise out there? It's going to be through content. And content will be the hardest thing for many. It was for me for the longest time because I like to talk about everything that has to do with business. But when it comes to branding yourself and being known for one specific thing, you really have to hone in on your content. In fact, I learned to just create content pillars. And so those are categories that I'm staying under, and then parameters that I set for my content, like who I'm speaking to, what I'm going to cover. And again, all my content is around my expertise, around the pain points that my clients are having, and then the solutions that I offer. All right, so this is going to be a lifesaver for you when it comes to creating content so you're not overwhelmed. Keep it simple by solving one problem, creating one message, saying it over and over, and start with one platform. So you're going to create content for one platform and speak to only one person. So I'm going to give you guys a perfect example of what I've been doing on LinkedIn. I speak to the healthcare professional that is looking to move up in their career or launch a business. And so what I do is I help them solve a problem, and that's a visibility problem. So they want to be seen and want to be heard, and they want to be known as experts, and they want to be influential. So I am solving one problem, and that's a visibility, and we do it through LinkedIn. And I talk about this over and over on the same platform every single day. And I'm now on other channels like YouTube and Instagram, but when I first started to focus, it was only one platform. If you do this in the beginning, you will not get overwhelmed. And then later on, you can, repurpose content and do all that great stuff. Again, have workshops on content, and we can dive deeper into that. But if you just follow these rules here, you're you're not going to be overwhelmed. All right, so we know we have to create content, and we have to create a lot of it. And we're going to do it for our ideal clients. But how do we get their attention? Where do they hang out? Where do they show up daily? This is something that you need to research. You need to find out where your clients actually hang out, and how are you going to get in front of them. In my case, my healthcare professionals are all on LinkedIn. Sure, they're on Facebook, and sure, they're on Instagram, but the professionals that I work with are all on LinkedIn. And so that's been my one platform. So yeah, this is just a slide showing you my LinkedIn. So I use social media and I leverage it. So I leverage LinkedIn and I maximize the benefits of LinkedIn. I have landed so many contracts and clients on LinkedIn over the years. In fact, I actually landed one of my clients on multi seven figures. And what I mean by that is like a lot of money from the contracts that I got them using LinkedIn. Pretty cool, right? As I mentioned, you want your brand to get out there, right? So we use social media as one of the best ways to get going and create content. But there are other things that you can do to actually grow your brand and authority and get it in front of your audience. Number one is being on a podcast. I do a weekly podcast with healthcare professionals, and what that does for me is that it gives me exposure to their viewers and network, and it gives them exposure to my network. So I have, over 11,000 followers on LinkedIn, all in healthcare. So if somebody wants to reach the healthcare professionals, being on my podcast and going live with me, it gives them all that exposure that they need to get in front of, the nurses, the CEOs, the directors, and all of these leaders that they're trying to reach. So I would say get on podcast, do some YouTube videos, or just when you teach or when you create content, post it on YouTube. And again, this will be like in the future. You don't have to do this right away out the gate. I really want you to stick to the one platform thing, but these are other ways to get exposure. And as I mentioned, podcasts and LinkedIn Lives are just a great way to get exposure. Yay! So, like I said, that was going to be a quick crash course, but I hope that you got some really good things from it. I hope that you got clarity about what you need to know before you launch. And number one thing is just being clear before you actually launch because you don't want to waste time doing a lot of things that won't move the needle forward. And so I'm just so excited that you guys joined me for these 30 minutes. And I hope that you'll choose to work with me. Just as I mentioned, I've landed many corporate clients using LinkedIn. And so I created some workshops all around LinkedIn to show you how to master it and attract new clients. And so if you're interested, I will be leaving the link inside the comments below or on the comments below. And so I hope that you'll choose to work with me. I look forward to seeing you succeed. And yeah, I'm just excited for you. All right, before we call it a night, this is Profile to Profit Leveraging LinkedIn. There's three workshops in a bundle. Usually I charge $97 per workshop, but you get all three for $97 in the month of January. So if you're interested in grabbing these workshops, again, the link is going to be below. And I hope you'll take advantage of our January special. I'm so excited for you to master the LinkedIn strategy, get your brand visible, learn to create your content with the help of AI, and then find and engage hundreds of leads daily. And I'm also going to teach you how to analyze all that you're doing to make sure that it's working. We want to make sure you're never wasting any time. All right. Well, that's a wrap. Thank you for joining me. Please follow me on Instagram at I am Claudia Garcia, on Pinterest at I am Claudia Garcia, on YouTube at I am Claudia Garcia, which my channel is Sell Your Skill. And so I hope that you will also follow me on LinkedIn. So it's LinkedIn /IN /Claudia Garcia healthcare just take a picture of that. And I don't know why I'm reading it to you. I have all of that information in the comments below. Thank you guys and have a great night. See you later. Bye.